Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tellman and Fellman Show, episode number 74. I was going to be smarmy and say 7,492, but it's 74. Just episode 74. We're in the early days. I am coming to you live from Barcelona from my ex-wife's apartment, so I'm on a couch right now. Not sleeping on it. She's not here. But the dog is. You guys remember the dog from the early shows in Barcelona? Anyway, my name's Harris Fellman, and that guy drinking water over there is.
This is Bulletproof Coffee right now. I'm Tellman Knudsen. This is my water glass. And today we have an amazing entrepreneur and a fantastic special guest, Matt Garrett. Do you want to tell us a little bit about good old Matt, Harris?
From coalman, barman, and fledgling accountant to building 50,000 AdSense sites, Matt's journey has been bumpy, fun, and ever-changing. An online entrepreneur for over 20 years, old man. He thrives on, we all are here, he thrives on challenges, constant learning, and collaboration. Matt approaches problems as opportunities, finding solutions by shifting perspectives, creating value for others, and generating income. Okay, that's what a businessman does. It's the mindset that drives entrepreneurs to help others, and in turn create abundance. Ooh, the magic word, abundance. So please welcome Matt Garrett to our show.
That's right.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Hiya. Long time since I've seen you, Tellman.
Yeah, where are you zooming in from?
Cheltenham, middle of the UK, in the Cotswolds.
Didn't even Zoom. Where are you StreamYarding in from?
StreamYarding. My first time on StreamYard. First time as a live streamer.
That's pretty interesting, actually, that I just asked you where you're zooming in from. Like, talk about market saturation for Zoom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're the brand. They're the Band-Aid.
Became an adjective, like a verb. It's a verb, right? Zoom. Yeah.
Zooming is a verb. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
So yeah, Tellman, he's in Cheltenham, which we would say Cheltenham, but it's Cheltenham apparently.
Going on down Cheltenham. Okay.
And I was just there. That's where I was. Was it 2 weeks ago now, Matt, or only one and a bit?
Last weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah. So almost 2 weeks from today. I was there 2 weeks ago today. I was going to say drove, but that would be a lie. I zoomed up there. No, I took a train up there and I stayed for 2 nights. And Matt puts together a maybe quarterly get together of other entrepreneurs, mostly digital entrepreneurs. One guy was like a local business flyer king.
Flyers. Yeah, he's just a local mate who also does business. So yeah, comes along.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say he's the flyer king?
He delivers flyers for local businesses.
Yeah. Okay.
Leaflets through the door.
Leaflets. Yeah.
All right.
I see. Yeah. So remember that old business, but apparently it still works. The guy. Yeah. Although I treated him to a beer, he didn't get me anything. But he was just sitting around waiting for people. Anyway, everybody was buying everybody things. Anyway, Matt, thanks so much for coming on the show. I'm excited to talk to you. And Matt, actually, one of the main connections that we have recently is because of Warrior as well, Tellman, because he's a Warrior Plus vendor, as well as a JVZoo vendor, as well as a ClickBank vendor, as well as an AppSumo vendor. I don't know. He might have something on Udemy for all I know as well. No? Okay.
Not at the moment.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I don't think Udemy's good for somebody like you because they don't give you any ownership. They're just selling your course and you can't really communicate with the people. So I'm really interested to get to that. But let's start with the beginning. Let's start with so I said coalman, barman, and fledgling accountant. So let's take it from there. How did you get into business?
Into online business. Before I got online, I was selling software to lawyers, which is where the accountancy background came in because I was selling accountancy software. But at some point along the line, I was one of the first amongst my friends to be online. And a lot of my mates, when they first got online, were asking about security. I came across a bit of software called Zone Alarm Pro, and I basically recommend that they use that. And one day when I was on the site, down at the bottom, there was a little link saying affiliates. So I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. Went, had a look at it and discovered affiliate marketing. So I set up a bunch of sites. I set up one to start off with and started making some commissions. That was back in 1999, 2000, something like that. And then I decided, well, I could set up more of these sites. And I actually asked Zone Alarm for permission to register zonealarm.co.uk and set it up as an affiliate site. They gave me permission. I ended up with a couple of dozen different sites for different software and interlinked them for backlinks back before SEO was a thing. So I ended up, niche affiliate 1-page or 2-page sites and making some money from that. ClickBank, Commission Junction, places like that.
Right on. By the way, I just want to point out there's a few people watching from your Facebook page. So if anybody wants to make a comment, say hi to Matt. Let him know how much he means to you. Or I know the British humor. It'll probably go the opposite direction, but we'll post that as well. So right. So that's cool. And then did some of that kind of become these 50,000 AdSense sites?
Yeah, I got into. I was part of Keith Baxter's original Nothing Held Back group. And discovered,
okay. There's some throwback activity right there.
Many years ago. I ended up buying his top keyword list site off him, his membership site, and ran that for many years. And did a lot of keyword research stuff and ended up building these made for AdSense.
You bought a business from Keith or you bought a product from Keith?
I bought a business from him. He had a membership site. Yeah, and I bought the whole thing out.
We haven't interviewed Keith yet. He's a funny dude. He tried starting a barbecue sauce business once that failed. Keith Baxter, man, we should get him on, Harris.
Yeah, for sure. And he's still active, I think, on
he's still hustling
on Facebook. I see him posting once in a while. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I ended up building these black hat AdSense sites where basically we were getting them ranked in Google, and when Google visited them, they would see an article, but when a real person visited them, they'd just see the ads. So they were highly black hat. And I joined up with 3 other guys to build out networks of these sites. And at our height, we got up to building out 16,000 a month. And we did that for 2 or 3 months in a row. We thought we'd hidden all the footprints from Google. But when you're registering that many domains, you become the biggest domain registrar in the world for 3 months. That's a pretty big footprint.
Yeah.
So they caught us, they banned all our accounts, and I went through a pretty bad time in my life. I was getting divorced, hadn't changed my spending habits quick enough, and ended up going through bankruptcy and divorce and leaning into drinking a little too heavily on red wine, playing lots of Warcraft. I did end up releasing a book on Warcraft on ClickBank.
Awesome.
I did that as an experiment, as my first digital product, to work out how to do it, because I had an idea for another product I was going to launch.
Hold on, let's think about this for a second. What year did this happen?
Oh, this was back in vanilla when I did Warcraft. So it was 2010 when I went into bankruptcy. So it had been around there.
2021?
2010.
Oh, 2010. And how old were you in 2010?
14.
I love the fact that you released a Warcraft book when you were 40. Like, that is awesome. Is it still up?
I've left the site up. The product isn't, but I've left the site up just for fond memories.
I mean, what's the URL?
Do
you remember?
Oh, WoW Domination. WOW Domination.com.
Wow, yeah.
I think.
Sounds like an internet marketing World of Warcraft.
Yeah. Yeah. When you go and look at the page, you'll recognize the graphics. They're very similar to a lot of other sales pages done at the time.
It's for sale.
Maybe it's not that then.
All right.
Maybe
well, either way, if you come across it, let me know. I'd love to check it out.
Well, that it surprised me because that actually did quite good on ClickBank. I wasn't expecting. I just got the timing right.
That's cool.
But as I said, it was literally a practice run for something I launched the next month called LazyGitMarketing.com, which is still up.
I remember that.
There we go. And that was all about
Lazy Git.
Lazy Git. It was about building websites that you ranked and got PageRank for back in the days when PageRank was a thing. And then you could rent links because of the high PageRank of the site. Basically, you'd get expired domains or get enough backlinks to push up the PageRank. You'd rent out links and get a nice residual monthly income. So that was my first digital.
It was like buying a parking lot.
Yeah.
Cool. So that was in 2010.
I think that might have been before 2010. Basically, in 2011, when I came out of my bankruptcy, I got together with one of the guys from the AdSense guys and launched a SaaS product about keyword research called was it Niche Reaper? And
right. Oh, I was looking back in our chat history, and you were all Niche Reaper.
There you go. Yeah. Wow. And we did something like 100K in recurring commission in a week, which restored my faith in my own abilities and put some money in my account. So life started to turn around again at that point, and I went on to work with a whole bunch of other people, including John Merrick, who was one of Cindy's partners that you interviewed a while back.
Yeah, the developer partner for that. And he predating Cindy, he did a lot of he did the software for some traffic exchange people.
I think so. Yeah. We basically did WordPress plugins together for quite a few years. We still got them. Some of them under WP Toolkit is our brand for that. So yeah, did that. And just
sorry for the audience. We were talking about Cindy Donovan. We were talking about her right before because we interviewed her and Matt watched that interview. So
yeah,
cool.
Go watch that interview.
Yeah, go watch that interview.
So in 2010 and beyond, you started launching digital products, and then you got into like keyword stuff, and eventually you did the Niche Reaper, and you went through some ups and downs, and so like what's the short version of what happened for the next 12
I guess the next 10 years was largely doing WordPress stuff and courses on teaching about WordPress and different bits of software. Did that with a few different people, and then ended up, as I say, working with John, but also more recently working with Simon Hodgkinson, and we've now got some AI software. And I work with another partner on a local prospecting, local marketing system, and a few other bits and pieces. Over the years, I've done over 150 launches for my own stuff and partners' products on Warrior Plus and JVZoo. So I've done a lot of launches. So along the way, I ended up doing JV management for people as well, helping them get launched. So for instance, now I'm currently helping Promote Labs redo their webinar for a new launch on JVZoo for Product Dino. Ooh. I also help work with Chad Nicely. He's got a series of 24 workshops he's releasing on Warrior Plus. So I'm helping him with those. He's also got a couple of bits of software coming up on JVZoo that are going to be fantastic. So I do several different things. I've got 2 companies that I'm involved with as a partner. I help other people launch. I help people with webinars, and also broker webinars for people as well. So very, very busy.
Yeah, how do you do it all? How do you have so I mean look, I mean,
you know what my secret is, Harris?
Yeah, I need your secret.
Becoming single again.
I do know one of your secrets. Actually, I won't repeat it, but because I've done that same secret as well, and we can't recommend that online. But anyway, along those lines, I mean, I think you've got a bit of ADHD, probably, right? And you've
got an addictive nature, and I've learned to focus it in the right things.
Well, let's talk about that. That's interesting, right? Because I'm very familiar with this type of mentality myself.
You said something to me when we met in person that was kind of off the cuff, and I've mentioned it earlier here, and I've been meaning to kind of ask you about it, and let's do it in a way that might help other people too. Like you said, I launched stuff on, you've mentioned it already, Warrior Plus, and you've got 24 coming up with Chad alone. You've got stuff on JVZoo, you've got stuff on ClickBank, you've got stuff on AppSumo, and you said, well, they're different marketplaces. Why not? I think some people would say, well, because what a pain in the ass to have to focus on more than one marketplace.
Right.
It's a lot of work just to figure out.
Reframe it. Reframe that. It's really simple. Reframe. The majority of the work, if you're doing things right, goes into developing a really great product. If you've done the work in creating the great product and the funnel, why not roll that across other platforms and let other affiliates promote it and expose that product to other marketplaces? Because the hardest work is getting the product great so that you can actually deliver value. If you've done all that hard work, why not share it in more marketplaces for more people to come across?
So, okay, so if I've got something on, well, I mean, and I presume you have a couple things that aren't on those platforms as well, like just straight Thrivecart or High
Yes.
Level or whatever you're using.
Thrivecart.
So like, let's say, I'm thinking of Merlin, right? Merlin's got a product that my old partner Merlin, he has a product that's just on, probably not Thrivecart, it's on his own stuff. And I'm like, well, why don't you, let's put it on Warrior Plus. And it's like, well, why? Right?
More customers, more leads.
Yeah.
And so,
and that's it, right? It's like, so what's it like? Like that's
it's like being a fisherman and having several fishing rods rather than one.
Right.
And well, what's your process when you launch a product and it does well on one platform? Generally speaking, what's your go-to first platform to roll something out on?
Depends on what the product is. If it's software, JVZoo. If it's more training based, then probably Warrior Plus. But we do software and workshops on Warrior Plus as well. It does vary depending on what the product itself is and what the market is. But just because it does well on one platform doesn't mean it can't do well on another platform.
What about ClickBank for you these days? Why is Warrior Plus more interesting to you than ClickBank?
Prevalent, yeah.
Quicker and easier to launch on, and I've got more affiliate contacts across Warrior Plus and JVZoo. Yeah. ClickBank, it's a wider marketplace and a lot of different niches, whereas Warrior Plus and JVZoo are more focused into make money online, internet marketing, that sort of thing. So it is a slightly different market. I always feel it's worth having them on ClickBank because there are people on ClickBank who are affiliates who will promote you long term. With Warrior Plus and JVZoo, it's very much about the launch a lot of the time. Whereas ClickBank, you'll pick up people who will promote for years, not just months.
Yeah, and there's also a bit more discovery on ClickBank probably, where if you put a product up there and it converts decently, other affiliates will discover.
Most of the beginner affiliate training, when people are teaching people how to be an affiliate marketer, starts off with ClickBank. Search in the ClickBank marketplace, look at the gravity, find a good product, and go with that. So people who are getting into affiliate marketing will often come across ClickBank. So why not have it on there as well?
Right. Mm-hmm. And so, okay, so let's say you launch something on JVZoo or Warrior Plus, because they have a lot of similarities, right? And there are a lot of affiliates that promote on both of those platforms, and so
some won't promote on the other.
Yes,
right. You're right. I'm sure they're the two camps too, right? After you've done your initial rollout on whatever platform, what's the process that you go through when you're entering a secondary or a third or a fourth platform in order to get enough, I'll say gravity, even though it's different on all the platforms, enough sales to attract enough affiliates to make the whole thing worthwhile? Because like doing a launch on JVZoo and then a launch on Warrior Plus and then a launch on ClickBank seems like, it seems like a lot of work, and like, is it worth it?
You're not having to recreate the product. So all you're doing is the front end launch bit. The main thing you'll need to change,
rehooking up the upsell sequence. Right.
Yeah. You'll need to change the sales page because they all have different rules and different format and different style. But other than changing the sales pages, it's then just reaching out to all the affiliates who like that platform rather than the one you just launched on.
So the trick still is, I was going to say the trick still is slowly over time building your affiliate network.
Yes.
Yeah, and that comes back to your experience as an affiliate and JV manager.
Yes, and really going to lots of events.
Long term.
Yeah, the secret to becoming that sort of person is to go to lots of events and meet people and get on with people and make friends, because that's how you build up the best networks.
Yeah, so that's the core today, skill. Yeah? That's the core skill underneath it all is
networking.
Networking, building your affiliate network and staying in touch with them.
Being a real person.
Being a real person, getting on with people, being normal.
That's it.
Be normal, exactly.
Trying to be normal.
Yeah, good. I'm out of luck.
I wanted to back up a second, and we'll get off of this because I know we definitely want to talk about the AI stuff as well, because you're probably most excited about that, and I generally am whenever I get somebody on. But before we talk about that, we kind of skipped over okay, so you said you did 135 launches in the last, I'm going to say
150 over the last 9-10 years.
Okay, so that's more
those aren't individual products. Those are where I've taken one product and rolled it across several platforms. Or even what I'll do is, if you've got a good product and then an upsell that's really good, if you design them the right way, you can swap them around. So what was the upsell can be the front end for the next launch, and you can have the front end as the upsell. It's getting more value from the products that you've created without having to constantly create new products, because you can get into
look,
that
a lot of
crunch
guys
where
a lot of guys out there, they put out, they don't really even care too much about the quality of the product, and they still do what you're saying, which is just, they're like, okay, we have something, and I've just learned, I mean, I'm a very I'm probably a little bit of a too idealistic sometimes, but like I've just learned that there's people that they've got little circles, and they'll take a piece of software that's not very good, they'll give it to one of their buddies in the circle, and they'll just rebrand it as something else as well. Not to mention they do that themselves. Anyway, what I wanted to cover was, what is your what's the team and the tech stack behind the ability to for you to put out, let's say, a launch a month? Is that a fair? Do you think it's probably, you're probably looking at more than a launch a month? And
I have been
I
known to
see
do
that
2 a month.
collaboration is part of it. So like in the case of Chad Nicely, what's his responsibility to building pages and everything versus yours? And then is it always kind of the same, or do you end up with a slightly different role depending on the partnership and all that? So we know there's lots of pieces to it.
And team, like, who's the team that you use all these launches, or is there one?
It depends on the partner. I love working with partners that can do as much of the heavy lifting as possible, so I can just get on with talking to people. Chad's a good example. Chad's got a good team behind him. He really concentrates on delivering incredible value. So he's got a team to back him up, and he takes care of doing the sales pages, doing the copy, doing the JV page, all the software, and all the workshops. So I'm just literally the liaison, talking to affiliates to get them on board, giving them review access, getting them up and running to see what the product's about, that sort of thing. When I've done it myself, I've outsourced a lot. So, I have different people that will do different things for me, but most of it I've done myself at some point or other, creating PDFs, creating training videos, software. Whilst I did train as a programmer many, many years ago, generally I've always worked with other people that are really good programmers. So they've just got on and done that.
That wasn't on the list. Coalman, barman, accountant. I didn't see developer, but go on.
Before I started selling software to accountants, I was actually taken on to become a programmer, and I did a training course on programming. But the problem was I ended up doing support and then training and then demos, and it turned out I was better at selling than the boss was. So I ended up in sales and started making lots of good commissions. So I stopped doing the programming course.
Got it. Sorry, I took you off of that. So yeah, finish up on what...
It's different in every scenario because different partners have different teams. So I know enough people that if we've got something missing, I can find the right person.
Yeah. And then I guess, how's it being project managed? Do you have a tool you use for that, or is it just Google Calendar? And
it varies. Again, I will just do it. I use a lot of spreadsheets and text files. But for instance, with Chad, we use Zoom. There's a Zoom chat app that's very good. With other people, it's been Slack or Trello. It varies again as to what each person's favorite tool is for just keeping. It's about communicating and making sure things get ticked off the list.
I can't stand Trello for some reason. I don't know.
I don't like Trello at all. I don't like it at all. Yeah, the project management software, I've not yet found a piece of project management software that I'm actually willing to use. Like, I keep trying and I keep on resisting, despite
I started building I built the early stages of Traffic for Me in Asana, to be honest with you, where I was able to move everything around, and
I thought you said in sauna.
No, in the sauna.
Better. That sounds way better.
Let me show you what that looks like. No, Asana, ASANA.
Gotcha.
And then I got it, and then I had somebody develop the whole system instead. And then it got hacked, and now here I am. So anyway,
it's because you built it in Asana, dude.
Yeah, I know. I melted in Asana. So Tellman, are you ready for us to move into asking about what he's working on now?
Yeah. Okay. Let's jump ahead to what's happening now.
So you're doing lots of launches. You're doing some JV management. You and I kind of will work together on some stuff like that. Wherever I can help with Warrior, of course. But I'm super interested in AI, and you have prompt core dynamics. which is with you, John Merrick. And by the way, I'm very in tune with AI stuff as an observer. I don't use it quite as much as I'd like, but I'm not doing as much with it that I could use it for yet. So, and that's probably going to change pretty soon. But I don't know. I think I'm going to have to go to a table in a minute because I just look like, oh, look, it's my giant head. So everybody, yes, let's go. So anyway, what is prompt core dynamics? And it's you, it's John Merrick, Mark,
Simon Hodgkinson, and Mark
Simon
Lyford.
Hodgkinson, and Mark Lyford, who we might have Mark on here soon as well. Tellman, he's been around for a long time. He could talk about it's something you will be so. I swear to God, you're going to be so interested in it. We're going to talk about racing pigeons, but we'll talk about.
I have a pigeon shirt. I have a shirt with pigeons that I'll wear.
Make sure you wear the pigeon shirt whenever we interview Mark. He's like addicted to pigeon racing, the homing pigeon racing.
I've never observed, heard of, or experienced. Is it on foot or are they flying?
They're flying, dude. They release them in another country, and more than like I forget what percentage don't even make it back. So it's a homing pigeon.
Pigeons?
What?
Are they carrier pigeons?
I mean, they're homing pigeons, which is also a carrier pigeon. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about Mark when Mark's here. So I'm sorry.
Pigeon racing.
All right. So what is prompt core dynamics? I mean, Mark's super excited about it. John Merrick, you couldn't tell if he was excited unless you punch him in the face. So I don't know. And Simon wasn't there. I assume he's super into it as well.
Yeah, well, it comes from Simon. Simon's been a mate for a long while, and we basically were chatting at some point, and he started showing us what he was doing in AI about sort of 2 years ago. He'd been going down the AI rabbit hole quite a lot and early. So we ended up basically getting prompts from him, and John turned them into software. Now, the idea behind it is, for most entrepreneurs, they've heard of AI, they know it can do something for them, but do they really want to go through the learning curve of becoming a prompt engineer? Because it's another skill set that they have to learn, when at the end of the day, all they want is a result that it can do for them. They want the marketing materials created for them at the push of a button. So what we did was take these amazing prompts that Simon was creating, and John turned them into software, so that all you need to do is put in a few bits of information and it will kick out the material, the content that you need. So the best example, I think, is that the first module is the sales campaign creator. So if you want to, if you go to the first one.
I have to click something now. Hold on. Okay.
There you go. Click on that and start a new campaign unless you've already got one set up.
Okay.
Give it a name.
Is that okay, Tellman?
Save.
Yeah, do it.
Do I have to put a description or no?
No, you don't need to. Oh, you
I guess I do.
Click on save.
Let me get rid of
this will basically create a sales campaign either for your own product or someone else's as an affiliate, and it will create the main bits that you need in under 5 minutes. So you put in the URL. What it's actually doing.
Oh, okay. I must not have put my AI, my whatchamacallit in yet.
Your API in.
I didn't put my API in yet. Yep, sorry.
Oops. Okay, but basically what it does is it goes and visits that site and looks at the sales page and creates a summary of the offer. Then down at the bottom, there are buttons for creating your emails. So you click the button and it will go ahead and create a series of 3 promotional emails based on that summary. Then there's another one for creating a blog post, and it will create the blog post based on the same summary.
Oh, and that's all within the AI sales campaign creator.
Yes. Then it does your social posts. So it will do 5 tweets and a couple of Facebook posts for you. Then it will also do a video review script to create a YouTube video review. And then it will create a series of ideas for lead magnets to give away. Now, the principle behind it is if you're creating a affiliate campaign or a sales campaign, it should be congruent across all the marketing materials so that the blog post fits in with the emails, and that fits in with the social posts, and it fits in with the review script that you do. and then the lead magnets as well. Now, there is another module where you can take those lead magnet ideas and it will then create the full reports for you for a PDF. And then there's another module that will create the images for that. So you've got everything you need to create all that, and it can be done in just minutes. So as a marketer, you don't need to know how to be a prompt engineer. You can just put in the basic information and the system gives you the content that you need to get on with promoting whatever you're working with. And it works for all sorts of things. It works for LinkedIn. We're just about to add a TikTok, an Insta module. We've got an ads module. We've got an images module. There's going to be 10 modules in there by the end of this month, covering all the different areas that you need as an online marketer without you having to understand AI. All you need to do is put in your API.
Let me back up a second. You've switched on salesman mode. So I'm going to drill you a little bit.
Sorry.
So no, that's okay. So I'm like, we've talked to some people. We've gotten pretty deep on some AI conversations, and one thing that's coming up for me is well, I've already asked you about like how automated is it? Can I now push a button and it'll automatically post on LinkedIn? And I know that's, and I've talked to you guys and it makes sense. You guys are focusing on this side of it, not that, because then you would need to keep up with all the APIs of 27,000 different platforms.
Every time something changes on one of those platforms, you're then having to change the integration. So we concentrate on the core of the dynamics of the prompt engine software. Sorry, couldn't help it.
The core of the prompting dynamics. So
Prompt
cool. Now I think that there's a next level that people are talking about, and this might be semantics to you, but it's are you familiar with Jason Parker at all? The stuff he's doing with AI?
I'm familiar with Jason. I've not seen what he's doing with AI.
Oh, okay. So he basically calls them agents rather than prompts.
Gotcha.
So he's building AI agents, and then he's able to, if you want a good one, I was going to say what he was doing on Facebook a couple months ago was like, tell me the name of your offer and I'll make a long form sales page based on the automatic clients template, and I'll give you the text in 5 minutes. And then if you want it to be good, he's got like 20 questions that he asks. So we
have a module that will create the copy for you. An agent is a real agent is something that will actually go out and do things for you. So it will go out and process things and do actions on websites and things like that. It's more interaction with your customers or interacting with your processors. So an agent is replacing some of the actual work that you do routine wise, typing things in and going to certain places and getting data and processing that data. So an agent is the next step of where AI is going, and a good agent, that will be revolutionary for most businesses once they start using agents that can do everything, because it replaces employees. So it's going to save people a lot of money.
I think that's similar to what I was saying. Like, will it post for me on LinkedIn? And so that's what the agent does. Whereas, did he call it agent, Tellman, or when he talked about like building? I mean, because ultimately, I guess it's really just.
I mean, basically, my understanding of Jason Parker's term agent is it's a more sophisticated, complex, multi-level version of a prompt, right? And sometimes agents involve more than just one AI, right? Like an agent can involve tapping into multiple AIs to address the project in different ways.
And using integration software like Make, where it will take one thing and go and do something else and pull it back and then do another thing with it. So it's like a workflow where you're stringing processes together.
Right. Okay.
Ours is prompt core dynamics is more about the fundamental of creating good content really easily and quickly without having to understand the prompting. The prompts behind it are quite sophisticated and really good quality prompts, because there's a lot of software out there where, when you buy a pack of 6,000 prompts, the quality of the prompts is not going to be very good. The quality of the prompts that Simon has created, are really, really good, because he's gone into this in massive depth. So it's taking that step away from the user. They don't have to worry about that.
I'm going to ask you a question, and then I'm going to form it as a challenge if the answer is no. which is have
geez.
you built a sales page with Prompt Core Dynamics yet that you've used or tested? And if not, I challenge you to do that, to at least test it against whatever your normal process is and see how it does. And I'd love to hear back from you. We don't have to put it public necessarily, but I'd love to put it public anyway.
I've got two that will be my next application for AppSumo. Yeah, because those are written in a certain way. I have actually, what I did with there was use Prompt Core Dynamics to come up with the initial copy, and then I got ChatGPT based on my existing AppSumo ones to change it into specifically AppSumo for what I wanted. I know that Simon creates all of our sales pages using his own prompts, most of which are what are in Prompt Core Dynamics. It's again one of those things where the sales pages will be good, but you may still want to tweak it. It's anything with AI,
right?
What you get out, don't just use it unless you've read it first and you're happy with what you've got. And there will always be areas where you can fine tune it to your particular message, to your particular brand, etc. What we're doing here is the end result from, for instance, generating sales copy isn't going to be 100% what you want. You still need to read through it, check it's accurate. One of the things that AI ChatGPT does is it will put fake testimonials in for you.
Right. Yeah.
No. Stop
or Jason, what Jason had written for us, like made up a story, like a backstory for Tellman.
It was a great story. It was a great story, but
yeah.
Well, actually, so this brings up a challenge that we're having that maybe Prompt Core Dynamics could help us solve. Do you mind me talking about that a little bit, Harris?
Go for it.
Sure.
Yeah. So we launched. I'm assuming you're familiar with Automatic Clients and Alan Sultanic and the new Nothing Held Back group, right?
Yeah.
Given the nature of your business and so on. And so I've been a big fan of that model. I've been learning a lot about it, and I've rolled out a few partial funnels using elements of it. And we launched one that was a full soup to nuts
sales page,
full funnel, followed the exact framework to the letter, right? And it bombed. And so I just made a post about it yesterday in the Nothing Held Back group and asked people to rip it apart and give it the old 1-2, and people give us some suggestions. But one way or the other, we launched Automatic Audience, the virtual summit system, because that's the system that Harris and I have both used repeatedly to enter new niches, build giant email lists, and make a ton of money over and over and over again over the years. And have trained people how to do it, and it's worked over and over and over again throughout the years. One of the biggest problems and hurdles that we encountered when we were deciding to launch this was that it's a lot of hard work. And it totally is a lot of hard work to do a proper 12+ speaker virtual summit webinar series. If you intend to make hundreds of thousands of dollars or something, it takes some work. And so we launched the funnel. We basically did fill in the blank template kind of stuff with the Automatic Clients template. And Alan is brilliant, by the way, super genius, amazing system. Our sales letter didn't convert. And some of the feedback, not all that we've gotten, is that we had a severe message to market mismatch. So I have a wealth hypnosis money mindset list that I've been selling to for the last 13 years, primarily wealth hypnosis stuff. Harris has a BizOp list that you can describe your BizOp list, I guess, Harris.
Well, I have traffic for me, and it's that's all it is. It's not a BizOp list in the normal sense. It's people that are a little further along, right? They've got websites that they want promoted in with traffic. So, but they're still, pretty newbie mindset.
They're
buy solo ads.
Easy, quick money seekers, short term.
There's a lot more feedback. There's a lot more feedback in there. I saw the word overwhelm half the time, Tell me.
Yeah. There was a lot of overwhelm.
So anyway, what's your question for?
The question is, we want to. Do we want to? I think what we want to do is we want a better sales letter. Okay, we want a sales letter that converts, because the upsells actually convert pretty decent. and the front end conversion it was low, both to Harris's list, my list on ClickFunnels, and processing through Warrior. And we went out to one or two of joint venture partners list, and it just doesn't convert, right? At least not yet. And so is Prompt Core Dynamics, are the tools in Prompt Core Dynamics as such that like it would be able to help us improve the existing system, or should we rewrite it from scratch, or like what would be the process?
I would go into the copy start with.
Hey, I have to pee. I'll be right back. Sorry.
All right.
There's several different modules, but I mean, there's a module where it will create better hooks for you and work out the different sections of the copy for you. So yeah, I would definitely recommend going into the copy part of the section of the system and put what you've got in there, start from scratch again and see what it comes out with, and compare that to your existing sales page and see where the differences are.
Yeah. Cool.
We've also just released a new prompting workflow that will probably eventually end up in Prompt Core Dynamics, but for the moment it's not. It's called Niche Impact Accelerator, and that just from a initial idea can go through and create 10 products for you, PDF products, information products, and it will create the hooks, it will create the actual report, it will create the sales copy for you, it will create the social materials for you, the marketing materials, a blog post, social posts, and it takes under an hour to create the product in one go. That's Niche Impacts Accelerator, which we're now turning into a webinar as well. We did it as a Black Friday release to existing customers and a few affiliates that had one board. We sold almost 100 of them. It's now gone up to $497, but we're turning it into a webinar as well, because literally, if you want to create a niche product, it can be done in an hour, and you've got all the socials, and you've got the blog post, and you've got the product, and you've got the copy.
Cool. So two things that just came up for me. Two things that just came up for me. Number one, so Automatic Clients teaches people how to do a virtual summit series. So
Automatic
every week,
Audience.
I'm sorry, Automatic Audience. We need to change the name.
Yeah.
Automatic Audience, which was one of the feedbacks, is a virtual summit system. Teaches people how to do virtual, basically weekly webinars, to be honest with you, and have them all promoted ahead of time. Knowing what you know about Warrior Plus and the audience at Warrior Plus, what should we focus on as a hook, really? Like,
it's a beginner market largely, so you're trying to teach people how to get started and keep focused, and they want quick wins. You know, part of it for me would be to make sure that you have some sort of action guide in there that helps them get immediate quick wins, like a daily action to keep them moving forward. I think one of the problems with Warrior Plus, especially, it seems there's a lot of people on there who they buy their $7 product on a daily basis just to get a hit of, I've done something towards my business today, but never actually take action.
Right.
Yeah. So you've got to find a way of actually lead them into taking action and getting those quick wins to move forwards. So that's the kind of hook that I would go for, and explaining that you've got a way in there, a process of onboarding it and keeping them taking action.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then the other thing I was going to mention is Tellman. Matt is a JV manager of a few webinars as well. So, we had originally reached out to Andy Hassong if we were going to do our own summit to do that. Maybe there's some people that we can use that we can connect with Matt for our summit.
Yeah, well, I mean, I in my working out twice a day, I've had plenty of time to think, and thinking about what our next move, Harris, is one of the options is to do the summit that we've been talking about doing for the last 6 months. And like,
well, I mean, I thought about it too. I wish we started there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I do too. You know, it's kind of like, interesting. So anyway, obviously warrants further discussion. But the good news is that like we could do a summit right now just by interviewing people that have been on the Tellman Fellman show. Like like it would be an easy way. Like we could rally people for a summit at the beginning of the year, like or something. You know, it could be pretty cool. Anyway, I agree.
We just have to figure out who's got something to sell at the end of it, and we're good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. Well, I'm happy to chat more with Matt if appropriate. Like that could be great. So the prompt core dynamics stuff, Matt, is great. It sounds cool. I'm looking forward to playing around with it. And is that like for people that are watching that want to check out what you're doing, is that the main thing, or should they, if they're interested in your affiliate management stuff or something, should they go somewhere else, or just, what's the deal?
For JV management stuff, they're welcome to reach out to me on Facebook. But I will say that I'm very, very busy for the immediate future. We do have something else called Neuro Rephraser, which is sort of a slimmed down, cheaper version. It's just basically that will take any existing content that you have, like PLR content or blog posts, and use AI to rewrite it and refresh it and give it different styles, so you can take old content and reuse it. That's Neuro Rephraser. Simon comes up with these names, and sometimes I'm like, can't you give it an easier name so that I'm not constantly tripping over it when I'm doing videos?
So is it Neura or Neuro?
Neura Rephraser. NeuraRephraser.com.
Totally different than a rephraser.
What is? Yeah, it needs rephrasing.
I mean, maybe just calling it the razor.
Or the rephraser. That was gone as a .com.
That's right.
Simon likes to come up with very creative names for things, and sometimes we have to go, no, we're going to call it something else.
Rein him back in a little bit. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. So what about the future? What are you working toward? Where are you going? What are you dreaming about? What do you need help with?
At the moment, I'm actually going through some life changes at the moment, just coming out of a long-term relationship. So I've doubled down and focused back on my business. And I found that doing so and being present back in my life has opened up all sorts of opportunities. So the future right now is very busy with lots of great opportunities for me with several different partners. As I said, I'm working with Promote Labs. I'm working with Chad Nicely. I've got my partners for Prompt Core Dynamics. I've got another partner, Tony Marriott, that I'm doing local business stuff with. And I'm going to do more marketing on LinkedIn.
Did you launch? Did you launch that something with Tony like a month ago?
Agency Client Finder. Well, yes, we did a lead into agency. Agency Client Finder is sort of our master product, and we're doing a series of launches on Warrior Plus, which are little front end offers to get people up and running with local business.
Yeah, there's a good little network of people that promote local.
There's
how to make money with local
good
business
local marketing vendors and products on Warrior Plus. Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so mostly it's just refocusing on myself and my business, because I lost my way a bit this year. I had one client who basically delayed on me so many times that I stopped doing what I should be doing, and I let it cause a problem in my business and my life. I'm paying the price. I'm getting through it day at a time, and yeah, just focusing again on business. So it's all about moving forward, isn't it, and keeping on enjoying life and getting on with business.
Tellman, you blinked away first. You blinked. I think the Avengers guy, what's his name? The guy, he blipped you.
Yeah, I know. I just had to pop into a parallel dimension there for a second and check on something. I'm good now.
Oh, okay, cool. How's Doctor Strange? Anyway.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, we get along well, actually.
Glad to hear it. Cool. Well, we're kind of at the end of the episode, and we've got a couple of questions for you. I'd like to let Tellman ask those questions.
That's right. These are the most important questions. The first one, Matt, actually, so promptcoredynamics.com. You guys should definitely go check it out. One is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how did you enjoy your experience today on the
10.
Tellman Fellman Show?
10. Thank you for having me on, guys. This is just, as I said, I'm going through life changes, and Harris says, when can you get on? I'm like, as soon as possible, because this is a really positive thing to do. Thank you very much for having me on.
And you never forget your first live stream. So
that's right.
This is my first live stream.
So you're one. So you're
live stream period, or just on StreamYard?
First live stream period.
Holy mackerel. All right.
Well,
Well,
I would say that your ranking of 10 doesn't really mean much if this is your first. So
I
10
think it
so
does.
far.
I think it does. I mean, if someone's first live stream, it could very well be like anxiety riven, absolutely terrible. Maybe we ask embarrassing questions, too disorganized. You did great.
Let's say the bar is now set high.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Next question is, if you only had one nomination you could give, who would you nominate to be the next special guest on the Tellman and Fellman show?
Well, I've got to go for Pigeon Man.
For
Miss
who?
Life.
Oh, Pigeon Man, Mark Lyford. Okay. We'll tell Mark that you nominated him, and that'll pressure him to get on.
That's right. Beautiful.
We've run into a couple people that are like camera shy or something. Like Matt Gill will not get on our show to save our lives.
Just called him out. Jeez.
There are a couple of other people I could suggest. Melody Wigdall, Jen Purdue.
Oh,
Yeah,
we would love to have more women, actually. We've had a primarily male-dominated show, and we would love to have more smart marketing women than
74 episodes, maybe 50 interviews, 2 women. So
I'll reach out to Melody.
And that's not intentional. That is absolutely not intentional. It's just the way it's gone. So
I'm in communication with them as well. But it'd be cool if you said, "Hey, I was just on. I brought your name up, and they'd love to have you on." And then tell them to reach out to me. They already have me on Facebook. I've talked to them about Warrior stuff, and that'll be cool.
Cool.
Yeah, Jen
rock and roll.
Jen Purdue is great. She's got a really successful, long-term, well-respected, internet marketing coaching business.
Yeah, my name. Very, very good.
I don't know as much about Melody, but I'm sure she's
likewise very good community. Again, delivers real quality products and looks after her people.
Yeah, cool.
Great. Rock and roll. Well, thank you, Matt. Thank you, Harris. Thank you to all of the Tellman and Fellman true fans out there watching every episode every day.
And what about the people that want to become true fans, Tellman?
It's so easy. All you need to do is go to www, or you can even skip the www, tellmanandfellman.com. Give us your blood type, your social security number, and your fingerprint, and we'll be good to go.
Yeah, you put your fingerprint on your camera, and then that goes into the thingy. Anyway, right. Tellman, I just noticed TF, true fan. Tellman.
Yeah, that was intentional. That wasn't good. I'm glad you picked up on that. That was fully intentional. Yep.
Okay.
Tellman Fan Club is the true fan club.
The true fan club is a Tellman. Okay, I like it.
Maybe.
Anyway, Matt, we've kept you long enough. You've got another 75 launches to get out this week, so before the end of the year. So get going. And of course, let me know if there's anything I can do for you, as always. And thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, this
was
awesome.
Next get together.
Cool.
See you at the next get.
Thanks, guys. All right, bye, everybody.
Bye.